Hi, and welcome. For today's practice, you're going to need something like a yoga bolster. So if you don't have one of these, just take a look at the approximate shape, and you can recreate this many ways. One way would just be maybe a firm cushion off of a chair. Another way would be to fold a couple of blankets, kind of oblong like this, and stack the blankets. The advantage of the blankets actually is you can adjust the height. So if you're relatively short, this actually might be too tall, in which case just one folded blanket might work better for you. So you'll know once you are in if you need something shorter, okay? But for now, you can set the bolster off to the side. And let's lie down onto the back. So I'd suggest starting in what we call constructive rest, which is both knees bent, the soles of the feet standing, flat to the floor. And now you can do one of two things. One is to leave the feet and knees about hips distance apart. And the other is to walk your feet out a little ways, turn the toes in and leave the heels out, and drop the inner knees together. So if you're new to constructive rest, try both of those and choose the one you like better. Take a moment to make sure you like where your shoulder blades are, if you need to walk them away from your ears or away from your spine a little bit. And then if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And if it's not comfortable for you, just relax them. Take a moment to sense how you're feeling physically. How you might characterize your emotional and mental state. And then I'd like you to direct your awareness to what we call in yoga the heart center, which is the whole area behind the sternum, center of the chest. Simply bring your awareness there and hold it there as you inhale and as you exhale. What's the feeling tone in this area? And what's the movement of breath like here? Is it pretty easy to feel your breath move, or is it restricted in any way? And now I'd like you to drop your awareness a little further back. So we're coming into the back of this space, more toward backs of the ribs, space between the shoulder blades. Hold your awareness here now as you breathe. What's the feeling of breath like here? And can you picture this space like a very comfortable, well-worn armchair? And on each exhale, can you let yourself settle back a little further into this armchair of the heart. On the inhales, feeling the breath is soft and full into this heart space. And on the exhale, dropping back into that kind of comfortable, slightly sunken space in your favorite armchair. Okay, let's start to move. Beginning by dropping the knees a little one way, a little the other, a windshield wiper movement. Now, you are welcome to stay just like this. Otherwise, pick your knees up in towards your chest. Hug your legs in, either by hanging on behind the thighs, in front of the shins, or if neither of them is accessible to your reach, stop, grab a strap of some variety, a scarf, a belt, or a yoga strap, and use that to extend your reach. And now rock side to side. Massaging into the whole back. And now land yourself at center, and we're going to move into a movement called Apanasana. The knees are going to stay bent the whole time. And for this, you can either keep your hands or strap back here behind the knees, or like me now, you could palm the kneecaps. My fingertips are pointing a little more toward my feet than each other. And I start with elbows bent. And then as you inhale, straighten the arms and the knees drop away from you. And on the exhale, bend the elbows and the knees draw back in. Inhaling, elbows straighten, knees drop away. Exhaling, elbows bend, knees hug in. Keep going, please. Now I want you to feel on the in-breath, when the knees rest into the hands, the shoulders actually are tugged very gently away from the ears. And on the out-breath, when the elbows bend, the shoulder blades fall back into the floor. See if you can sense that. And now the next time your knees come in towards your chest, let's switch the grip, come back behind the knees with hands or strap. And now this is Supta Padangusthasana. Now as you inhale, push both feet up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, bend the knees and hug them in. Inhaling, push the feet up, just moving towards straight. Don't have to straighten all the way. Exhaling, bend the knees, hug them in. Keep going, please. Carefully coordinating movement and breath. And now the next time you stretch the legs up, stay up. And if you can, keep your hands on your thighs for support. And now roll both feet in a circle one way. And roll the other way. And point and flex the feet. And shake them out a little bit. Okay, bend the knees. Bring the feet back to the floor. And just pause for a moment. Feel your breath and feel any effect you can discern, even from those first couple movements. And now we're going to head into a supported variation of bridge pose. So this is what that bolster is for, or your cushion, or your stack of blankets. What you'll do for bridge pose, have your feet in a little bit closer to your sitting bones than they are for constructive rest. So my heels are more or less underneath my knees. Have the feet about hips distance, parallel. Wider is fine, certainly, and you'll adjust when you get in to feel comfortable and supported. Then, and I'm going to bring my head to center because that's pretty important with bridge pose, push into your feet and lift your pelvis. Grab your bolster, cushions, or folded blanket. Bring it across underneath your pelvis widthways. So if my words aren't making sense, come and take a look at about where mine is. I have the bolster widthways underneath me. The sacrum, the triangle-shaped bone at the base of the spine that looks like this, is sitting right at the center of the bolster. So my rib cage, it's mostly off. The tip of my tailbone is off, but my pelvis is on. And now find a comfortable place for your arms. Anywhere is fine, but choose somewhere that allows you to relax back into that armchair of the heart. Feel your breath soft and relaxed here. Feel the support of the bolster under the pelvis and really relax the muscles of the back so that the pelvis receives that support. Now, with the bolster underneath you, try lifting your feet off the floor and floating your knees up. It might be easier to do with that support lifting the pelvis, and then take hold of the legs however you like and rock side to side. Massaging that sacrum into the bolster. It might feel nice to take hold of the knees, circle them one way, circle the other way. And now let the knees drop into the chest again. Let go with the hands, rest them to your side, and try floating the legs towards straight. Now, here's what we're going for. We want to sense that the legs are kind of hovering in the air. This is sling pose, a kind of hybrid between shoulder stand and legs up wall. So have as much bend in the knees as you need to get the legs to float. And if your hamstrings are relatively tight, that might be a lot of bend, all the way back to where we were. If they're relatively open, you might be able to go pretty close to straight, not locked. And find a place, you know how you can sometimes balance a baseball bat in your hand? We're looking for that floating feeling in the legs. See if you can find it. Relaxing into the space behind the heart. And we'll just stay with the breath and the sort of feeling of the cares of the day just draining right out of your legs. One more breath here, nice and slow. And now bend the knees. Put one foot back down, the other foot. Pause, let the back snuggle into the bolster. And now we're going to take the bolster out from underneath us, but we're not going to miss the roll down. So the roll down of bridge, there's a lot of magic in it. So push into your feet, lift your pelvis. You might have to come up onto tiptoe to make enough room to get it out from underneath you. And now if you can, stay lifted for a moment. And now roll yourself down mindfully, one piece of the back at a time. And then when the back's all the way down, feel the breath relaxed into the belly and bring your feet back to whichever variation of constructive rest that you chose at the start, because it felt best to you. Coming back to simple sensation in the body. How you might characterize your mental state to yourself. And feeling the texture of your breath. So please stay here a few more minutes if you would like. Get up slowly when you're ready and be very kind to yourself today. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you next time.